You know, Kim, looking at his medical records, you'd think this doctor has a squeaky clean past tonight. He is being linked to dozens of deaths. In fact, federal agents earlier tonight came to his Jonesboro office tonight. It's all locked up. The sign on the door, go anywhere else. And Ben, not surprising, this one has everyone at the school behind us talking ever since this 7th grader took some red hair dye and gave herself a makeover. Ben and Sharon, it is so hard to talk to so many people who are trying to come to grips with this unthinkable tragedy. The Chattanooga Recruitment Center behind us, where he first came and opened fire, we found about 50 bullet holes in the front window. The value of these stolen comic books, we're talking upwards of $250,000, $250,000. So just how did this guy get inside the home? It's a little unconventional, but it's something you might need to pay attention to. He crawled right through the doggy door. And Ben, good evening to you. At sites like these, they tend to look like war zones. In fact, you can even see the black billowing smoke. And Sharon, so many of us do it. You pick up your cell phone. All it takes is a single click. You can find a date. A lot of people here in Atlanta are taking advantage of this new technology, but police tonight stressing that it can be very dangerous. It came just a few feet, actually, from hitting the home behind us, and the damage here is really astounding when you think about it. This is it. This is the last pending court case, and that is why 4 hours later, Kelly Gissendaner at 11 o'clock tonight is still alive. Despite repeated attempts for comment, his attorney contacted me just one time. It was a text message telling me to stay away from his client's property.
Howdy, Adam.
Howdy, Scott. How are you tonight? If you thought traffic was bad on the connector, just imagine what it was like when everybody started to slow down a little bit because they look to the side and they see what? A guy riding a horse?
We understand that some people you talk to are still scratching their heads about Valentine's.
I think I'm one of them that's still scratching his head. It almost looks like a war zone out here, doesn't it? Experts say it's sites like this that are becoming far too common all around the world. And among the officers here training in Alabama, there was one from Belgium who says what he saw today, he has never seen before.
3, 2, 1.
In rural Alabama, it was training ground for the fight against ISIS.
It isn't if it's going to happen, it's when is it going to happen? That's the bottom line.
As terrorists struck Brussels early Tuesday.
So this is TATP and this is HMTD. So TATP is an improvised explosive.
We were with Ryan Morris and his team as they were gearing up for critical training.
We're doing out-of-the-box thinking.
Tonight's lesson, explosives, how to detect them and how to defuse them.
Ultimately, explosives are the same all around the world, and the threat is there. It's very real.
What happened today, I was expecting this.
Among the officers training, we met Joris Kirchhoff, a Belgian security official working in the U.S. as his home country came under siege.
I've been on the phone all day by WhatsApp, by FaceTime with people. I received my first message this local time, 4 o'clock this morning.
In a bizarre twist, Kirchhoff says he himself has had a personal run-in with the only terror suspect to have survived the deadly massacre in Paris, where 130 were killed. Analysts believe Salah Abdeslam's arrest just last week played a role in today's triple bombings.
I found his name back in my book, which is more than 10 years old. Today was not the end. I think it's the beginning. I'm afraid it's the beginning of something huge. How can we defend ourselves? We try to do training like this.
It is training unique to Alabama, now reaching officers right here in Atlanta and around the world. I'm Adam Harding, CBS 46 News, Night Team. It was on this tiny bridge, over this little creek, in the small town of Cleveland, Shannon Hamilton lost his whole world. His daughter Cecily killed in a crash a month ago tomorrow.
Just a fearless kid that loved to laugh, loved to dance, and loved to have a good time.
Cecily was with her friend Taylor. Their car went off the roadway and plunged into the water. Shannon has made it his life's mission to make sure that never happens again.
When you're a grieving parent and you've lost your child, you do what you got to do.
He wants a guardrail right here. He says he's gone to the city, he's pleaded, but so far nothing.
Almost 30 days went by, still nothing, and so I decided to take matters into my own hands.
He thought he'd start building the rails himself. Police warned him not to.
They were very respectful. They tried to talk me out of it. He looked at me and said, "You're going to do this anyway, aren't you?" And I said, "Yes."
Sad. It's sad.
Shannon was arrested minutes later. He's not angry, though. Not at all.
He had to do his job, and as a father, I had to do my job, and all I was trying to do is save lives. I don't condone doing illegal activity, but I'm on a mission to impact lives and to do positive things.
At the accident site, there are still hugs, there are still tears. There's also music and stories.
They wouldn't want me to be sad. Taylor, he'd tell me all the time, keep up playing the guitar, because that's just what I do.
Noah Dotson lost 2 friends that day 4 weeks ago.
I wasn't even 3 miles down the road the day that it happened, and I was just devastated.
But he knows their deaths will help bring change.
The lives that they led and lived are still in the hearts of everybody that knew them.
I know she's smiling down. The community's come together, supported us 100%, and even officers. They know where I'm coming from.
And this is a change we're told county leaders want to see too. In fact, they think in the next 2 weeks, if not sooner, those barriers will be put in place right on this bridge. As for Shannon, he says he'll continue to come here every day until he sees those barriers in place for himself. In White County, I'm Adam Harding, CBS 46 News.
I'm the one that found him. The door was locked. He was unresponsive, wouldn't come to the door. I busted out that window. I opened the curtains and I found him face down on the bed. He was purple and blue. There wasn't no hope.
When I saw her, she wasn't herself.
He told me that my dad was dead. I just dropped the phone and hollered for my mom. Oh my God, he's gone.
There is one man, these 3 families say, links them all together. Dr. Narendra Nagareddy, a Jonesboro psychiatrist recently arrested.
She liked him, but she just didn't feel comfortable with what he was giving her. But I was saying, take it, maybe you'll feel better.
We were there as federal agents raided his Clayton County office. They moved in and shut him down, accusing the doctor of unlawfully prescribing medication. Investigators tell us 36 of his patients have died in a 5-year span. This says 36 people died, 12 of them overdose deaths. In a CBS 46 exclusive, we tracked down the doctor to a Henry County home. A grand jury could soon hear his case. Right now, he is only facing 1 felony charge. Were you running a pill mill?
No, sir. Not at all.
So why can't you explain that to me then?
Let me talk to my lawyer, sir.
His lawyer hasn't agreed to talk to me. The doctor tried hiding behind his door.
I'll explain to you, sir. I'm a honest man. I look after all the severely mentally ill patients. Please understand, sir.
But court records allege he wasn't at all taking care of his patients properly. Many, we found in these documents, received minimal examination, evaluation, or testing. Yet the doctor regularly prescribed excessive amounts of controlled substances for no legitimate medical purpose.
I think these patients had an addiction. I think Dr. Nagareddy enabled their addiction.
Michael Robinson still lives across the street from the home where he found his dad David dead from an overdose.
Hell, I miss him every day. It's my dad. I'm only 31 years old.
According to this newly released search warrant, family members told investigators David had a history of prescription drug abuse. But records show at least 24 times in a 13-month span he got his hands on medication, including a bottle of 90 anxiety pills just 4 days before his death.
You know, if he wasn't prescribed all them meds, then yeah, he'd still be alive today.
And this is what I haven't thrown away.
Georgette Mahey tells me she met the doctor several times. She doesn't blame him for the death of her diabetic daughter, but says she's still asking why he kept prescribing so much medication. In fact, here's a bottle she still has full of pills.
And her brother.
Latricia Mahey died 9 months ago.
Her and her daughter look so much alike.
Leaving Georgette to raise a granddaughter all on her own.
I'll be 65 in a couple of months. I didn't think I would have a teenager.
He was taking a lot of medication.
And then there's Shonda Witten. This is the last photo ever taken of her dad. It was also the last time she ever saw him. Roy Denson is one of the 36 names we found listed in these court records.
He said that he wished he could have been a dad, but all he knew how to do was be a friend, and that he would always be my friend.
They're all part of a case police say is unlike any other in the state's history.
And it was so egregious, instead of receiving help, it appears that some of them were receiving a death sentence.
Clayton County's police chief helped oversee Nagareddy's arrest earlier this year.
Of course, Clayton County is a better place now that Dr. Nagareddy is off the street.
It is the latest bust in a statewide crackdown on these so-called pill mills, where patients allege they have easy access to pain meds not because they need them, but because they want them.
The top 4 causes of overdose drugs in our state are Oxycontin, methadone, Xanax, and hydrocodone.
And that's all stuff you can get
through pain clinics.
It's why the Attorney General fought for tougher laws and recently helped pass new legislation requiring all pain clinics to be licensed with the state. They have to be owned by doctors or hospitals, and not a single employee can have a criminal record.
How many suspected pill mills would you say your office is investigating right now?
Candidly, that's not public information. I will tell you it's less than it was before passage of the pill mill bill.
The law doesn't say a doctor has to stop prescribing medicine just because someone has a drug problem.
Defense attorneys warn of a legal gray zone, a sort of protection or buffer for doctors. Despite the high number of deaths, Dr. Nagarreddy isn't facing murder charges.
They either have to show that the doctor intentionally killed the patient, or they need to show that the doctor's writing of the prescriptions was so reckless, so negligent, that it was foreseeable that it would lead to someone's death.
Our own investigation found Dr. Nagarreddy had a squeaky clean record with the state medical board. It has left these families asking, how could this have happened, and what is proper justice? As we continue to learn more about the 36 patients named in this investigation, the doctor's future is uncertain. Despite repeated attempts for comment, his attorney contacted me just one time. It was a text message telling me to stay away from his client's property. Tonight, we know Dr. Nagarreddy's medical license has been suspended. We will keep digging. I'm Adam Harding, CBS 46 News Night Team.